Welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're joining us today. We're diving headfirst into the wild, fascinating, and maybe slightly unsettling world of synthetic media. We're going to be talking all about deepfakes, AI generation, and really just how to navigate an internet where seeing is no longer necessarily believing. We are going to look at the exact anatomy of a fake, right down to the pixels and the physiological markers.
But hey, before we really get going, I've got to ask you something. Listen to my voice. Is the person you're hearing right now human? Think about it for a second. The little pauses, the enthusiasm, the breath. Well, let me just break the fourth wall right out of the gate here. Nope. No way. I am a completely synthesized voice, and this entire explainer is actually AI generated. It was structured, designed, and narrated by artificial intelligence, kind of acting as a creative director.
Now, here's a really crucial distinction we need to make. Just because an explainer, or literally any media for that matter, is AI generated, doesn't automatically mean the content itself is fake or worthless. In fact, everything I'm sharing with you today is meticulously grounded in real research papers, articles, and data. But here is the critical warning. The polished, cinematic delivery of an AI-generated explainer makes us way more susceptible to just blindly believing the content, regardless of the author's actual intentions. It sounds authoritative, right? It looks professional. And because of that, it totally bypasses our natural skepticism.
Part 1, recognizing AI styles through their visual signatures.
So, to defend against being unknowingly swayed by synthetic media, we first need to know what its distinct visual vibes look like. If you're watching a highly structured overview, you really want to pay attention to the aesthetic. Tools like NotebookLM generate animations from scratch using very specific visual styles. So if an explainer perfectly maintains a classic whiteboard, watercolor, retro print, heritage, papercraft, kawaii, or anime look from start to finish, all while summarizing complex topics flawlessly, well, you might be looking at the algorithmic signature of an AI. It is an absolutely incredible educational tool, for sure, but it's important to recognize when you're looking at an AI's stylistic choice rather than hand-drawn human animation. Beyond just the presentation styles, broader generation platforms actually leave their own unique fingerprints too. For example, Kling AI is widely used for high-volume social content. Why? Because it absolutely excels at identity locking, meaning a character's face stays incredibly consistent across different shots, and it handles fast camera pans beautifully. On the flip side, you have Runway Gen 4.5, which filmmakers treat a bit more like a creative sandbox. It gives you incredible control, but it's much more prone to random facial glitches and strange little artifacts in its lower-tier outputs. All right, Part 2, the science of detection and forensic software. So what if the overall vibe isn't enough to give it away? How do we literally prove it's a fake? Well, we look for temporal instability. You see, the biggest weakness of current AI generation is object permanence. Because AI generates media by essentially drawing each and every frame from scratch, it's just turning noise into an image over and over again, it struggles to keep things completely still. If you scrub through the frames and really watch the fine details on static objects, you'll almost always see them morphing, warping, or flickering. It just can't keep the pixels perfectly aligned over time. Okay, so here is your practical, everyday checklist. Number 1, watch the hands and teeth. AI notoriously struggles here. You're going to see extra digits, fingers bending completely backward, or teeth that just sort of melt together. Number 2, look at the background. Do the door frames suddenly bend when the camera moves? Do random objects get blurry for literally no reason? And number 3, close your eyes and just listen. AI-generated audio often sounds way too clean. It misses the subtle room echoes, the slight variations in pitch, or the natural, messy spacing of human breath. Moving on to Part 3, the eye-blinking tell and biological liveness. Now, what if you're looking at a super high-end deepfake? The background is rock solid and the teeth are picture perfect. That brings us to biological liveness verification. Turns out AI struggles deeply with the unconscious physiological actions of humans. To detect this, forensic researchers use something called the EAR formula, which stands for eye aspect ratio. It's basically a mathematical calculation of the distance between the height and the width of a person's eye in any given frame. It allows software to objectively determine beyond a shadow of a doubt if an eye is open or closed at any given millisecond. Check out this breakdown to see exactly how it works. The system maps out 6 specific facial landmarks around the eye, and they label them P1 through P6. Points 2, 3, 5, and 6 measure the height, while points 1 and 4 measure the width. By tracking these points dynamically across frames, a deep neural network can measure exactly what that eye is doing in real time.
And as that eye begins to close, that height distance shrinks really fast. Researchers set a threshold for this. It's usually 0.25. Once that calculated ratio drops below that magical line, boom, the system registers a definitive closed state, effectively counting a blink.
You might be wondering, why does this mathematical formula even matter? Well, it's because a healthy adult human spontaneously blinks every 2 to 10 seconds, and every single one of those blinks lasts just 0.1 to 0.4 seconds. It's this rapid, consistent rhythm entirely controlled by the premotor brainstem. We don't even think about it, we just do it.
And this is where the AI completely falls apart. Look at this data from the UADFV dataset testing. Deepfake models are trained on millions and millions of photos of people from the internet, right? Well, guess what? People don't usually post photos of themselves with their eyes closed. Because the training data lacks closed eyes, the AI literally doesn't learn how to blink properly. Researchers found that real humans in their dataset blinked an average of 18.4 times per minute. The deepfakes, only 4.28 times per minute. It is a massive, quantifiable physiological failure.
Part 4. Defending against AI slop and protecting yourself.
Look, the goal here is absolutely not to be alarmist. It is to be educated. We're transitioning into a whole new era of the internet, and we have to know how to proactively protect ourselves from falling for misinformation or honestly just being served what people are calling AI slop. Thankfully, we've got a whole new toolkit to help us out. There are browser-based tools like Overchat AI that let you upload files or just paste URLs to check for synthetic generation. Hive Moderation offers this great free Chrome extension for really quick right-click checks. And for the enterprise level, there's Encode DeepSight. These tools look for that temporal instability we talked about, they perform intense audio analysis, and they check for C2PA metadata along with invisible pixel-level watermarks. By combining all these methods, these tools can hit up to 99% accuracy in detecting a fake. But let's just pause for a second, right? Let's step back from all the algorithms and the high-tech detection tools. Because at the end of the day, there are still real humans navigating this space. And the actual person behind this explainer, the human who curated all these sources and put this together, wanted you to know that calling anything generated by AI art is offensive to real artists. It's a really powerful reminder that while AI is an incredible synthesizer and a super fascinating tool, the soul of creation still absolutely belongs to humans. Which brings us right to our final thought. As the internet floods with more and more AI-generated content, you literally have to remember to fact-check what you see. Please do not believe something just because it looks incredibly well-made or perfectly polished. So, the next time some piece of content rolls across your feed that perfectly confirms all of your personal biases or triggers this massive emotional response, will you pause to check its pulse? Keep your eyes open, watch for those blinks, and stay curious. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer.